Okay, in this video we're going to talk about stay-at-home orders, and it appears there's a lot of protest about this throughout the country here, not just in my state but in a lot of states, and people are starting to suffer from this stay-at-home order and lockdown, whatever you want to call it, and they want the economy to reopen because they've shut down our economy more or less to a degree, and it's creating financial havoc for a lot of people on different levels. Small businesses and people who run their own business are hurting real bad. They even say that large corporations are, even though they're so huge and can take the hit, it's starting to hurt them also. So what has happened here the past couple of weeks is 2 weeks ago, they had their first Reopen NC protest in Raleigh. There was a few people came out, and of course the third time they told us, the third warning, leave or we're going to arrest you, and one individual stood there, refused this woman, and was arrested, make a political statement, which I understand. So the strange thing is, my wife watches the numbers they publish online for the state, for how many people have the coronavirus, known cases, and how many deaths. So right when this happened, the next day, she was watching every day, monitoring this. There was a huge jump in the number of known cases and everything else. So I said, okay, let's see what happens next week. So she goes through and she's checking it every day, the official, wherever she's going to. And the numbers go up a little bit, okay? Then again, next Tuesday, and this time there were more people. There were more people out there demonstrating. There were counter demonstrators that, this was set up for, I guess, nurses and that, where they're saying, no, stay at home. It's going to be a disaster if you disobey the stay-at-home orders, and all this other stuff. And more people showed up. Then, same day, the numbers jump up. Now, is it a coincidence that they decide to compile whether the numbers are true or not? They just don't add them up until the demonstration, or on the day of the demonstration, by some very bizarre coincidence, a whole bunch of people show up at the hospital that are diagnosed with the coronavirus throughout the state. How come they didn't go Monday or last Friday? Okay, So, this is one strange thing. And who do you believe? What numbers you believe, or the charts or projected things? There's all kinds of arguments about that. But it's weird how it happens here, but this protesting and reopening the country they had it on the news today. There's a lot of different states where this is going on, okay? A lot of, it's not just in North Carolina, it's all over the country. People are getting fed up. A lot of demonstrations. Some states, I think Georgia is allowing like barbershops and stuff to open, and that. South Carolina also, I think, is lifting some sort of restrictions. Here we were told another 2 weeks, and he's going to do it in phases, some bizarre stuff of so many types of businesses will be open, and then in another 2 weeks, which is a month, okay, they'll reopen like barbershops, bars, or something. It depends, restaurants, things like that, places where people can go eat, but with a whole slew of restrictions and stuff. And also the governor put this little caveat in there: if numbers increase, okay, after these restrictions are loosened up, they'll immediately go back into a stay-at-home, and the new restrictions will immediately come back at his discretion, okay, which is a bunch of bullshit if you ask me. But also, they're starting to realize people really ain't dealing well with this. There's more and more incidents, and then again, you don't know if there's all kinds of violent incidents going on, and the news just doesn't report it because it won't look good. Okay, but there's been several shootings, stabbings, people have driven cars into buildings, apartment buildings, high-speed chases. They're saying on the freeway in California they clock people driving 130 miles an hour. Okay. There was pictures of people who drove cars through walls of houses, buildings. I think here in it was either Greensboro or Winston-Salem, somebody smashed into a apartment complex or hotel or something, and the upper second level there, that walkway or deck, they took the pillars out for the supports, and one section of it was starting to come down. That the fire department had to go up there and brace the building up. The building was actually damaged to where parts of it were collapsing. And like I said, two pretty serious murders. One was stabbing, the other one shooting. It's violence is starting to increase, and if they crush the economy down like they're doing and people go bankrupt, you're going to see more of this. There's going to be more violence. There's going to be more people just flipping out and that's what's scary. Now you run on guns and that don't look so stupid now, and the fear and that keeps going on. There are some people that won't come out of the house, okay? My age, my medical conditions, they tell me that, if I catch this virus, I'm gone. But I kind of refuse to live in fear of that. I doubt very much most of the people I've seen, no one's ill. I don't know anybody that's ill. And, when you say that, I guess locally here, one of the nursing homes, I guess the virus got in there. And of course, everybody's doubting the numbers and this, and all of a sudden, ooh, the nursing home, 30 reported cases. And I wanted to make sure, is it 30 people who are dead or 30 people who have tested positive for the virus or are sick with it? And they just say 30 people, coronavirus. It's 30 people, unfortunately, that at a local nursing home have come down, I guess, with coronavirus. They did not state if anyone has succumbed to the virus either. So, you see, that's another thing, because once people get to where they're saying, hey, I'm kind of getting fed up with this, I don't see the panic, and all of a sudden, the minute people voice this, the news shoves something down your throat telling you, no, you're wrong, it's bad, there's something to fear, people are, getting this, coming down with it. And I'm getting tired of it myself, It's ridiculous. And like I said, that we've lost the whole country. They suspended our constitutional rights. We can't gather, we can't protest, all this other stuff. We've lost the whole US of A because of a pandemic, when the whole country's gone as far as I'm concerned, unless they stop this and turn it around. And the other thing is, they're talking again, they're already preparing you that when the flu season in the fall comes, okay, they're going to do this all over again. Okay, again, they're going to do this. Well, I guess if some people survive through this stay-at-home order, the next one will finish them off. Businesses will be gone or whatever. I don't know how the economy's going to bounce back. The education system in this country, which isn't the best in the world, they've closed all the schools down. Nobody's learning on. So we have all these children that are not even getting a mediocre education. They're getting no education. Okay? The whole system of our society is coming apart. And and the politicians just, stay at home, save lives. And it's every 15 minutes there's some commercial of celebrities and people telling you, stay at home, that's the thing to do, you're saving your own ass, you're saving lives, you're a hero. It's nonsense. Okay, the whole world's being taken over. All right? And at least that's my opinion, and nobody's doing nothing to stop it. But we'll see how things develop, because I think a few more weeks of this, you're going to see more protests, you're going to see more violence, and people just flipping out. That's another thing. You know, the mental health issue in this country is another problem that this is aggravating it even worse. There's a lot of people wandering around that ain't wound too tight, okay? And, you know, you're going to see more of those results and incidents and car crashes, violence. You know, hopefully we'll get out of this and start to straighten things out before it gets too out of hand. But I'd like to thank all of you that have stuck around, keep following my little commentaries and that. And you know, there's several people that live outside the U.S. that voice their opinions or describe what goes on. I'd like to thank all of you for doing that to help people stay informed. And so when you see these, you know, read down through the comment section. There's some interesting points of view that a lot of the people put in there. And, you know, stay tuned.